Good morning. We are practicing Kundalini-inspired yoga today. So that means it's my version of Kundalini yoga, and whew, so it's going to be my flavor. And also, um, we're going to try some things that we haven't done so far, and some things that we have with a little bit of a twist. So we will be starting, I think, in lying down. And remember that in this practice, when we are breathing breath of fire, if at any point you feel uncomfortable, because we're bringing in a very powerful pranayama, and if at any time you feel uncomfortable, nauseous, if you have any issues with blood pressure, then just hold off and just breathe deeply and focus on the posture and the smooth, equal inhale and exhalation. So let's get started. I said the back. We'll get started on the back and just see. And the reason we're going to go there is because we're going to kind of wake up in a very specific way. So coming all the way down and just releasing into Shavasana. Letting the legs and the arms get heavy, letting the trunk get heavy. Maybe taking the shoulders and walking them back a little, and then letting the weight of the body hold them in place. And with the body totally relaxed, letting go a little bit more if you aren't completely relaxed. Bring your attention to the breath. And begin to breathe more deeply. Let's clear a breath out through the mouth, inhaling through the nose. Releasing through the mouth. We're going to be waking up the eyes. Keep the eyes closed for now. And we're going to bring the hands to the eyes, palms right to the eyes. You can put some gentle pressure there, but nothing major, just a little bit. And you might notice a change in color with that extra few layers of on top of the eyelids. Feel the eyes relax. Now this is a good exercise for the eyes. We're going to keep the palms there, but now we're going to open the eyes and see if you can look at the palms themselves. So eyes open, hands still on top of eyes. We're going to keep the focus on the palms, but we'll slowly be taking the hands away from the face. So go ahead and just begin to lift a little bit. So maybe just like half an inch or less, or an inch. Keep looking at the palms. Now we'll start to lift the hands a little bit more. Still looking. I'm going to change the focus as the eyes get a little further, but keep looking at the palms. At some point you're going to see 3 hands. So look at that. That's really important. That means the eyes are relaxed. And then little by little, you're going to change the focus, looking at the palms themselves. As you lift the hands, and then we'll keep them so that the arms won't be fully extended. You'll still have bent elbows, and just keep eyes to hands for another few breaths. And then we'll start to bring the hands back. You can keep the focus there. The eyes relax. And then you can bring fingers to the forehead. We're going to start to circle. So you have maybe the middle and the fourth finger, third and fourth fingers kind of going through, or what we would call them second and third, whatever. Just use your fingers to circle from the center of the forehead and work your way to the temples. And then at some point you can come back to fingers to center of the forehead, lowering a little bit. We're going to be working our way from the forehead down to the chin, taking fingers in the center and moving them outwards as we circle them. You could take outward circles. And at some point going towards the bridge of the nose and then working down the nose to the cheeks, to the sides of the face, underneath the temples. We're going to do the nose separately, so just keep working towards the outer part of the nose, working your way to the outer part of the face. Make sure to get the upper lip, the upper jaw, and the chin, and the lower jaw. Just allowing circulation in the face. And we'll take the hands to the top of the nose and circle all the way down towards the nostrils. And then you'll squeeze the nostrils. Release. Take the hands to the ears. Massage the ears from the top down to the lobes. And then you can squeeze the different areas of the ears. Nice big breath from that. I'm sure it just happened organically for you. And then we're going to start to bring the knees in and hands to the knees. It's a nice way to start our practice. And so you can rock side to side. We are going to begin at this time. Now we've woken up the face and the eyes. So we're going to begin our practice with mantra. So when you're ready, rise up to seated. Sit up tall. You can bring the hands together. Feel the face relax, the eyes relaxed. We'll be chanting Om Namo Gurudev Namo. I bow to the Creator, I bow to the Divine Teacher within. And so connecting to that source, connecting to that teacher, and in strengthening that connection, being able to receive guidance and inspiration. Deep breath in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Deep breath in. All in one exhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Still seated nice and tall, maybe sitting on top of a block or blanket. We're going to take hands behind and make contact with the hands and the neck. So take the hands underneath any hair and interlace the fingers behind the neck. And we're sitting so tall, stretching the sternum up, but not taking the belly too far forward. So we aren't arching the spine. Nice and tall, crown of the head reaching upwards. Going to be inhaling slowly, and then at the top of that inhale, hold the breath for what is comfortable. So maybe for you it's 1 second, 2 or 3, not super long, just for a moment. And then exhaling out through the nostrils, nice and smooth. At the bottom of the exhale, holding the breath again for about the same period that you held the inhale, the top of the inhale. So maybe you're holding for 1 to 3 seconds and then breathing for about 4 or 5, maybe longer seconds. So let's do this for at least a minute. Breathing in for maybe 5 seconds. Holding. Exhaling 5 seconds. Holding. And then continuing. But feel free to go longer. Now you can continue to breathe this way, or you can stop with the holding of the breath, and we're going to move to a breath of fire. So if you haven't done it before, it's very intense. So again, if it's uncomfortable, then feel free to stop, but it might be uncomfortable but manageable. So the inhalation is forceful and short, and the exhalation is forceful and short, and it can go as slow as this. Something like that, or it can go quicker. So choose the rate, and you can change the rate as you go through, as you experiment. So we'll start with a deep breath in and out. There's a pulsing action from the belly as you're doing this. Deep breath in, pulsing. Keep the face relaxed. Keep going. Feel prana circulating through the body. Any areas in the body that you'd like healing energy to move through, send it mentally into those spaces. Just a little longer. This has been a minute. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Release the hands. Let's just sit here for a moment and feel the effects. Noticing how that energetic breath brings a certain kind of feeling afterwards. And at this time, we'll transition to child's posture. So come over to the knees. And see how you'd like to distance the knees. You can have them closer or further, and you can shift as we're going through. So we're going to change this into something.
But rest the head somewhere, rest the forehead. If the knees can go closer together, rest the arms alongside the legs, palms up. So regulating the breath, maybe a gentle breath, or maybe you would like to shift into Ujjayi, pranayama, victorious breath. I like to incorporate that in this practice between all the rest of the pranayama that we engage in. So this time, when you're ready, take the hands behind and interlace the fingers. Just rest the hands on the back, the arms resting on the back. And then begin to take the shoulders back and lift the arms away from the back. Now you might stay here, or you might take the forehead to the mat and then roll to the crown of the head. So either one, see what feels better, or maybe one or the other
For a little period of time. We'll be here for a few more breaths.
So in this tradition of Kundalini Yoga, this is called Yoga Mudra, the hands behind. And if you've taken other classes with me where we've done that, the other traditions would have fingers holding a wrist. But the idea is very similar, the hands behind the back. And so we can come into the feeling of what does it mean to have the hands behind the back. For that to be called Yoga Mudra, yoga hand gesture. And then release the arms and just be here for a moment, resting. This time we're going to be taking the hips and swaying them side to side very powerfully. So you might keep the arms where they are, you might change the position and take them forward. We're going to start taking the hips over to one side and the other. So this really big swaying motion, as much as you can get out of this, and with some force behind the motion of the hips. Still controlling the breath. We're going to go a little bit longer.
Getting some good force behind this motion.
And then releasing and letting the body get heavy.
And we'll start to rise. You can come into a table posture. Now, if you'd like and you have blocks, you might use blocks for this, especially if you have major tightness in the hip flexors and in the front of the thighs. So we're going to just find a little bit of a back bend here. So if you can, take the feet outwardly, or you can still stay on the heels. So there's lots of options, and the reason there's so many options is because the structure of the knees and the hips is so different for many people, based on the way that we use them. So they might go out, you might stay seated. Then we're going to start to walk back, and then take the shoulders, squeeze them back as you take the heart forward. So some are going to be able to recline all the way down and release completely. Others might be far from that, and you might have like fingers to the block or even fists. So like my fists work out pretty well like this. So this would be like a camel posture. So you keep the hips up and you send the heart up. Okay, especially if you have any difficulty with really bending the knees deeply, then this will be good for you. And then there's even other adjustments as well, so that if you're almost reclined all the way, you can take blocks behind and rest on the blocks. We could do this with one block, you could do it with two. So wherever you are, we're just going to be there for a little longer, let's say about 6 or 7 deep breaths. Remembering we're not looking for strain. We're never searching for pain here. It's just that pleasant discomfort that we know we're going to benefit from. Maybe one more deep breath. And then we'll meet in seated. So rise up carefully. Use the arms to help out. And we will find a seat with the legs extended out. Now today I'd like to use a strap, and you can use one if you have one around. Could also be a belt, or you can be holding the legs. Remember to sit on a prop if you have a lot of tightness in the back of the legs and the back and the hips. With the legs extended out in front, the feet together. I'm going to inhale and reach the arms upwards. And pause here for a moment. Just feel what it's like to have the arms lifted. Now narrow the back. So if you take the elbows closer together, you'll feel the back narrow. Now we're going to broaden the back. Separate the arms, separate the elbows, and feel the shoulder blades go back and down. Next exhale, fold forward. Hands can come anywhere to the legs, the thighs, the calves, the feet, as long as you're keeping the spine nice and long. You can even bend the knees if needed. On the inhale, lift the heart. It's a halfway lift. On the exhale, fold. Bend the elbows to fold rather than bending the spine. Now we're going to move with the breath with this, and we're going to go into a more forceful breath. So it's not quite breath of fire, but it's got a lot of force behind it, and it's shorter breaths. So inhaling, exhale. Keep going, and as you're doing this, intentionally let the back of the legs relax. Put your mind there. Couple more. We are going to let the spine collapse now. So deep breath in, and then exhale, fold, release, relax the arms. Maybe even have blocks if you'd like to rest the forearms on the blocks. Let the head go, let the back round. Relax the back. Relax the back of the legs. Relax the neck. Relax the shoulders. Let's see if we can get into this a little bit deeper. Watch out for the toes. They might be kind of turned outward. See if you can keep the toes upwards. Feel the shoulder blades separate. And then we'll start to rise. The head is the last to rise. Let's return to the knees, the shins again, and go into this posture that you were in earlier. So either a variation of a camel, hands can be to blocks, or even you can take hands to hips if you don't have blocks and really utilize the glutes, activate them, take the heart up. You've got that. You can go into it. You can go into this reclining hero. I think in Kundalini it's got a different name. And either way, it's a really nice back bend and feeling this pelvis change in very different direction than what it's probably accustomed to, depending on what variation you're in. And let's come out of this in a breath or two and return to the seat. So another variation of a forward fold. This time we'll have left leg forward, right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Inhale, take the arms up. And then let's do what we did before. Narrow the back, take the arms closer. See what that's like. Broaden the back. Take the arms apart. Feel the shoulder blades going out to the sides. And then we'll exhale, fold forward. I'm going to use a strap again. I have a lot of issues with folds and I struggle with them, so I want to give myself some assistance and support today. So from here, you can hold the leg or the strap around the foot, and we'll take a couple deep breaths and just sense the back of the leg. And as we did before, very patiently, very kindly, we will inhale, lift the heart, exhale, bend the elbows to release. Inhale forcefully, but gently at the same time, rising, exhale, releasing. Continue. No strain or pain. Couple more. Folding and breathing, 5 deep breaths. Maybe the hands can rest in a different location. Feeling the back expanding with the breath in, feeling it deflate and release on the breath out. And then we'll rise. We're going to switch legs. Taking the arms upwards, narrowing the back, broadening the back, taking the hands forward on the exhalation, and then inhaling, finding length. I'm going to pause and sense the back of this leg. Mindful not to build up tension anywhere else in the body as we do this. So inhaling, lifting, exhaling, bending the elbows. Inhaling, exhale. Continue. Remember, gentle yet forceful all at the same time. Really mastering the way that we use energy, the way that it flows through the body and circulates within. Going at a slower pace if needed. Couple more. And then folding, breathing deeply. And we'll rise up. Third time back into on the shins. Feeling energy buzzing in the body very differently than it was before. So finding your back bend either on the knees and then, engaging this lower body and taking the heart up, or maybe you're going to lower all the way down. And you're going to see if this has changed for you as you're going through. You might be able to get lower than you did before. So if you had the blocks under the back, consider changing them around, seeing something different. 4 deep breaths. Let's meet in child's posture. So lower or rise carefully and then come back down. So we were in Yoga Mudra earlier, We're going to return to that. Maybe your knees are going to go in a different position. Maybe the forehead's going to rest on a block. And we're going to take the hands behind as we did before, interlace the fingers and rest the arms. Now this time we're going to bring mantra in. So we're going to be chanting Ong. It's O-N-G. Ong. With every exhalation. So it's an exhale with sound is the way to say voice. An exhale with sound. So it'll be a long, deep inhalation, and then a long exhale with sound, creating the sound of Ong. So when you're ready, take the arms up and away from the back. And again, you can be here, or you can go upside down a little bit, crown of the head to the mat. So deep breath in. Now rest for a moment. Before we go further, as you make these sounds, pay attention to where you're feeling buzzing in the body. Okay, so you're going to feel this probably in the upper body, probably in the head. And it's going to change between Ong and Ng. So when you're ready, once again, arms reach up. Inhaling. Last one. Release the arms. Couple more deep breaths. Let's rise. Table. We'll take a few cat-cows here. Inhaling, belly relaxes. Back sinks. Exhale, belly engages. Back rounds. Continue without forcing the spine, but focusing on expanding on the inhale, emptying on the exhale, and drawing in. Fingers are spread wide. Let's find a neutral spine. Extend the right leg to the back of the mat. Bring the ball of the foot down. Press through the right heel. Sink into the shoulder girdle for a moment. See what that's like. And then press into the hands. Feel the arms lengthen as if you're rounding the shoulders, but then just give the shoulders a little bit of a squeeze back. Now pick up the right leg on the inhale. On the exhale, send it over to the left. And then set the foot down, off to the left, off of the mat. Turn the head to the left, looking over the left shoulder. Inhale, come to center, lift the right leg, and let's take this right leg out to the right, set the foot down. Toes can face forward or slightly in towards the mat. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Maybe this arm circles a little bit. And then you might take this arm and work the shoulder blade into the back. So taking the arm slightly back, drawing the shoulder blade in, and then taking the arm back up. And you can keep the head looking out to the right or upwards or down towards the left hand. Just kind of feel this out. And then we'll be releasing the right arm, sending the right leg up and back, and then setting the knee down. Inhale, lift the left leg, bring the ball of the foot to the mat, press through the left heel. Feel the length in the whole spine, so kind of looking downwards between the hands or slightly forward, right in front of that, keeping the neck in line with the spine. And then we'll inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, take the leg to the right, set the foot down, top of the foot or ball of the foot, and then we'll look over the right shoulder. And see if I can get us to rest on time today. I've kind of just decided what that time is, and it's the same every day, but it's definitely later than I said it would be, right? So let's come to center. Lift this left leg and take it out to the left, set the foot down. Inhale, lift the left arm up. And notice if the wrist started to get tired there, then give it some time to move and create space in the wrist. And then maybe you're going to circle this arm. So I've noticed so much of my upper back achiness and pain really has to do with not activating the back of the shoulders and the upper back enough. And so when we activate it, it changes the experience of it, and it's not achy. It's almost like giving it life with movement and activation. And then that liveliness of that region changes it completely. So when you have this arm up, you might start to take the arm and work that shoulder blade back. And again, the head position can change. And then we will release and lower. Pick up this left leg, send it back, bring the knee down. And then come to a seat, let the wrists move. So this right wrist maybe got a little tested, some strength building there. Gonna roll that out a little bit. So we're gonna end our practice with something a little energetic and potentially fun, rather than frustrating, right? So if it's something that you find a little strange or hard to keep up with, just have fun with it. Do what you can. You can change things around, this is part of the practice. So we're going to give yourself enough space behind the mat. So we're going to be moving along this mat. So I'm moving far up so that feet are planted right towards the top of the mat. But then let's grab a hold of the toes. So you can bend the knees if needed. And we're just going to be here for a moment. So like a happy baby, you can explore this. So we're holding this big toe with the peace fingers. We have a good grip. It's firm, but not tense. Okay, and then we'll have the feet fairly close together. What we're going to do is pull the toes back, and notice that the hips lifted, right? Pull the toes back. Maybe you can get a little bit further up the back. Now we're going to be rolling up and down the spine. So from the base of the spine to the neck. See if you can take the toes back. Almost there. And then you're going to gain momentum as you lower the hips and then pull back and lower. And little by little, the legs might stay bent the whole time, or they might start to straighten up.
Play around with this. Maybe even lift the head as you come up to the hips. Now you might stay with the feet behind for a few breaths. Don't move the head as you're there. You want to keep the head still. Maybe a little bit more movement. And then we'll be releasing the hips, lowering the feet, finding a bridge posture. Walk the shoulders back. Lift the hips. Squeeze the shoulders back. Interlace the fingers, perhaps draw the knees towards each other. One thing I see people do often is they separate the knees really wide. Keep the knees close. Keep the glutes active. And exhale, release. Find your way to the mat so that you're long on the mat and you have the body now positioned throughout. Draw the right knee in. Maybe a little rocking with this right knee side to side. We're going to guide the knee over to the left. So left hand can catch that outer knee and then draw it over to the left, right arm out to the right, turning the head to the right. These practices are sometimes saturated with twists and sometimes saturated with forward folds and back bends. And so today was a good forward fold, back bendy day. We didn't incorporate too many twists in today. And we'll take this leg to center, switch legs. Little motion first with this left leg, and then guide the leg over to the right. Turn the head to the left. We'll come to center and bring both of the knees in, squeeze them in, and then release. We're going to rest in a corpse posture, Shavasana. Feeling all the effects of what we've done as we're resting here, and just being with those effects, right? Being with them and not doing anything about them at this time, about them, just all around, releasing and experiencing. In a deep quiet. You can take an exhale out through the mouth. Feeling the effects of circulation, energization as you rest.
slowly come back to your breath. Begin to deepen the breath. Start to move the body, experiencing echoes of your practice, effects of causes that you put into place. And then start to rise. When you find your way to seated, take your time, maybe roll to your side to get here. Once you find your way here, circle the head a few times. Make sure to go both ways. Oh, there's a man on my roof, it sounds like. That's what you're hearing. Doing something up there. We'll have the hands together, and we will, at this time, chant together, Sat Nam. Truth is our identity. And we're also bowing and recognizing that truth within us that is of the same source. Another way to say is God's name is truth. Deep breath in. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Om. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope your practice strengthens you throughout, that you can sense that you have a certain kind of energetic experience, whether that is a calm energy or maybe feeling more vigorous than usual, and also feeling that the body is being nourished more properly because of what you've done today. And all of that is going to affect the mind in itself and the way that you treat yourself and others gently and kindly. Thank you.